Hello everybody, I hope you're well and welcome back to Voice Notes with Jordan Theresa. My throat is really sore and I'm so thirsty, but it's so cold today. I know I've got like my little dress on. I've stuck the heating on inside my unit because I want to show you guys my very cute dress. It's from Realization. It's from Realization Part. It's very, very cute. And it is like it's June. It's June and it's so cold, and I had to like run out to use the bathroom, and then I forgot to buy myself a bottle of water. So right now I'm rationing a like 3-day-old bottle, like lukewarm bottle of Oasis. So I'll probably take a sip in a second because my throat feels really dry, because I've actually been non-stop yapping for 4 days. Like I've been constantly talking. So I spent the last 4 days staying with Jack, so I literally have not shut my fucking trap. But for anybody who is watching, which hopefully if you're on Spotify, you'll have the option to watch. I'm trying to get that all sorted out so I can have like the video versions of the podcast on Spotify. You'll see I'm in my new studio. It's so nice. So let me give you guys, I'm not going to pick up the camera or anything, but let me like run you guys through the background. I'm not sure if this is going to be my permanent background, because I actually would rather, like when I'm recording, put like a mini tripod on my desk. So I'm sort of like from this angle a little bit, but I kind of like that you can see the background. So this is my studio. My stepdad is coming to measure my unit soon so he can lay down some carpet, because this is just like plain plywood. But this is my little background here. These prints are from Drool Art. I love them. I've got my GQ magazine of Jeremy Allen White that Jack got me. I got this really cool thing that I got in New York. It is a pink like little book of Japanese tinned food labels, and it's so cool. So I got that. I have some other magazines. I got these really cool candle holders from a charity shop in my hometown, because I stayed with my mum for a couple of days this week. And then I've got the new Coco Mellors book that I bought yesterday. Jack was like, oh my God, this is so you, because I was ranting to Jack about this blazing row that me and my sister got into last week. And he was like, this is so Blue Sisters. And then I've got some other little bits and bobs here. I've got my little chairs back there. And then I've got my desk here. But I'm feeling very grateful for this space, especially at the moment. And I feel like it just is perfect. Like it serves my every single need. I might get a little blind for that window back there, because I feel like this isn't giving, but it's not that deep, you know. And this is my first time recording in this space. The sound blocking is really good, touch wood. There is building work going on literally in the block opposite me. But also there's like builders coming in and out, and I like feel so embarrassed. Like I feel embarrassed. Like I don't want them to see me talking to myself. Let me take a quick sip of my lukewarm Oasis. 1 second. I'm literally rationing this out, but surprisingly that's actually pretty cold, all things considering. But yes, how is everybody doing today? You know what? I think I'm just going to tell you guys, because I'm not going to get into it. Because like I don't feel ready to get into it yet. And to be fair, I don't want to get into it ever, because there's more than one person's privacy that I have to respect in this situation. I think you guys can tell what's coming and what I'm going to say. I'm actually going through a breakup right now. Oh yeah, like it's all very new, it's all very fresh, and I am currently like bouncing between places. I've got a sublet sorted out. So like I feel like I'm in this state of limbo at the moment, but that's why specifically I feel really grateful for this space, because no matter where I'm sleeping, no matter where I am, I will always have like it feels like a very safe space for me to come back to. But yeah, I do just want to make it clear, no cheating went down. I haven't had like the rug pulled from under me or anything. It just didn't work out, which I feel like in a way is worse because it like doesn't mean that you don't love the person. Do you know what I mean? It feels like really soon to be talking. I'm not talking about it. I'm just mentioning it to you guys. But it feels like it's really, really soon because it has been so recent. But also I've not been in like a very good way for the past month because of, you know, like the natural breakdown of my relationship essentially. And like, I feel like I've been keeping this from you guys for such a long time that I do just want to just like get it off my chest. So then like, when I mention it in future episodes, it's not going to be like, oh God, I'm actually going to have to like say that I'm going through a breakup right now. I'd rather just tell you guys that I'm going through a breakup and then, you know, go and like, if I want to like mention things like, oh, this thing's upsetting me, or, oh, I'm feeling like this today from my breakup or something like that, I can, and it's not going to come as like a shock to anyone. But yeah, like it's all good. Obviously, like it's like the hardest thing I've ever gone through, but I know that it's like the best for the both of us. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I'm not going to get into it. And I think that's why today specifically, instead of doing like a personal podcast episode of like what I've been up to, my thoughts on things, you know, those sort of like multi-topic ones, I just want to make a podcast episode, like just a research only based podcast episode. I don't want to do the book I'm reading, song I'm listening to. I'm sorry guys. Like I don't feel up for it right now. But today I want to talk all about dating apps, and I can't lie, it doesn't mean that I'm like making a podcast episode about dating apps because I'm getting all up on the dating apps. No, I'm actually planning a little celibacy moment. Whenever I go through like a big long-term breakup, I do like a good like 6-month celibacy stint, and I fucking love it. I love being celibate. I absolutely love being celibate. So this isn't me being like, oh my God, time to talk about dating apps because now I'm a single babe. Because right now I'm not feeling like a single babe. I just feel sad. So I wanted to do like a research-based episode today all about dating apps because I find the evolution of modern dating absolutely fascinating. And I find, especially recently, I guess people have really, really turned against dating apps. I feel like within the last year, like I feel like it's been a really, really quick like succession of people saying like, what the fuck is going on? What is this all about? Like I remember this TikToker I follow said that anybody who's in a relationship, how does it feel getting the last chopper out of Nam? Because it's the trenches. And I think that dating apps can possibly be the root of why modern day dating is so bad. And just before we get into today's podcast episode, I would love to thank Cheeks for sponsoring. If you listen to my podcast, if you watch my YouTube channel, if you follow me on Instagram, you probably already know about Cheeks. I absolutely love working with Cheeks because not only do I actually use their website, but I really, really believe in what they stand for. Cheeks specialize in ethically produced adult films, erotic stories. Their erotic films are ethically produced. They have expert-led masterclasses and also the Cheeks Pleasure Academy. Cheeks is my go-to platform for all things sexual wellness, and if you get a subscription, you unlock all of that. You unlock all of that and so much more. Two things that really stand out to me about Cheeks and what I really love about them is I love, you know, authentic and ethically produced adult films and erotic films. They're of very, very high quality. And also the Pleasure Academy as well, because I believe that and sex education should go hand in hand. They should be in the same place. And the Pleasure Academy, you can go for anything and everything, any sort of questions that you're wondering and asking, and it will be on the Pleasure Academy, and it just allows you to explore your sexuality in a safe space. Also, Cheeks' ethically produced films, not only are they a high quality, but also everybody who works on them is paid fairly. And the Pleasure Academy allows you to explore and act out your sexual fantasies in a safe space with support and being able to answer any questions and queries that you have. I'm going to quote Cheeks themselves because they said it better than I can. Cheeks is a new kind of sexual education inspiration. We are tired of our sex education stopping after school and being replaced exclusively by we are tired of seeing misogynistic patterns and objectification in However, we also think that erotic content should not be categorically demonized because of this. There is a better, fairer, and more inclusive way. A whole ecosystem of producers, performers, educators, and consumers are helping us to take and sexual liberation to a new level. Like, guys, this is just so a bit of me. Like I always feel so flattered when they want to work with me. But I also wanted to highlight a couple of the masterclasses for you guys today. So the two that have really stood out to me is the Enjoying Self-Pleasure course as a girl who I'm now single. But even if you're not single, it's so important to explore your own sexuality. And if you want to, masturbate. It's good for your health. It releases tension. Like, it's a win-win. Also, there's a course called How to Have Better Sex, which I'm super, super interested in. It says, this masterclass is the best sex education you've never had. From understanding yourself better to cultivating lasting pleasure, this course takes you on. So I'm going to be taking both, girls. I'm going to be taking both, and I'm going to keep you guys updated on the pod. So make sure you guys subscribe to me and follow me on here. And the cheek subscription, for a monthly subscription, it's €14.90. But if you get the annual subscription, it works out at €9.90 a month. There is no minimum term. It can be cancelled at any time, and you do have the choice between a monthly and an annual subscription. And very kindly, Cheeks have decided to give you guys a code. All of the listeners of Voice Notes, you've all got a code. If you use the code Jordan Theresa 7 in all capitals, that is JORDANTHERESA 7, you get a 1 week free trial of Cheeks. You just have to select the annual membership option and then cancel it before the 7 days is up, and you won't be charged. So you guys can go check out Cheeks today. There's more details in the show notes, in the YouTube description. So make sure you guys go to getcheeks.com. That is GETCHEEX.com to explore Cheeks today, explore your own sexuality in a safe space, and just see what they have to offer, because I really do love working with them. I think they're such an amazing company and brand. But yes, thank you so much, Cheeks, for sponsoring today's episode. I feel honored as usual, and let's get into it. Shall we just get into how dating apps launch? So, I just want to differentiate that a lot of people group together dating apps and dating websites. I'm not going to do that. Dating apps on your phone. Websites, they've been around for well over 20 years. So the first sort of mainstream dating app to be launched on the App Store was Tinder. It was launched in 2012, and then they launched their swipe left, swipe right mechanic in 2013, and that's what made the app go viral. Yes, online dating had existed for a really long time, but Tinder was very much the first of its time. I think the swipe left, swipe right mechanic, I don't have any actual tangible proof for this, but I do remember it almost started discourse. Essentially, it was discourse before discourse. It was discourse before what we think of as discourse, of a debate of whether Tinder was a morally and ethically ambiguous app, because you were solely judging people based on their looks. People thought it was pretty misogynistic, pretty shallow, that it was a sign of how too far gone the younger generations were, because they were just judging people by their looks. But also I feel it was a lot of that sort of older people moral panic at play of, oh my God, these young kids are going to be judging people by their looks, as if people don't judge people by their looks anyway. But since 2013, since when Tinder went viral, I hate saying they went viral because it literally means nothing. I keep seeing on TikTok, oh my God, guys, look, the viral TikTok bodysuit is now on sale. There's a glitch in the TikTok shop. The TikTok viral bodysuit is now £5. I'm viral bodysuit? I've never seen that in my life. I've never seen that in my life. Viral bodysuit. When I think of something that's viral, let's deep the word viral here, because viral, I'm assuming the word viral comes from when a disease is viral, a viral disease, as in it's spreading everywhere. COVID was a viral disease. It literally shut down the entire world. The £5 TikTok shop viral bodysuit is not viral. Is it as viral as COVID? Is that what you're saying? And so when I think of something that's viral, to be fair, I think virality was more common 10 years ago. because the internet was like a smaller place. There was less subcultures. So I feel like everyone's internet experience is pretty similar to each other. Now the internet is so big and there's so many branches that things that are viral to me are not viral to other people. Like, for example, I had to explain to someone at my friend's barbecue last week who the Four Seasons Orlando baby was, because I have seen nothing but the who wants to go to the Four Seasons Orlando? Me. And a lot of people don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. And then there is nothing, and I mean nothing, more humbling than explaining a meme to someone, because it's actually deeply unfunny. And you know what? I'm actually convinced that the reason why it's so difficult to write TV shows about young people nowadays is because young people, so often in our conversations, we reference memes, and in the conversation it's funny, but like if I was watching a conversation of two people referencing a meme, even if I did know what it was, I'd be like, this is dead. Like this isn't funny. But anyway, sorry, we're going off track. Like something that I think of as a viral thing is like the blue or black or white or gold dress. Didn't that guy recently get done for like either beating his wife or trying to shoot his wife? This is why we can't have nice things. But yeah, and that's like a viral thing because everybody was talking about it. Like everyone at school was talking about it. Even the teachers were talking about it. My parents were talking about it. How did everyone see the dress? You know what? I saw it as white and gold. And I remember once I woke up and I went straight on Twitter. I think I was in year 9 or year 10. So I was like 14 or 15 years old. I went on Twitter. And when I first woke up, I saw it as black and blue. And then as my eyes adjusted, it went white and gold. So, but like people say like, oh my God, like white and gold is apparently the unpopular one. But the thing is that I have a really, really good vision. Like I don't wear glasses and I don't need glasses. So I feel like everyone should be trusting my vision more than anyone's. Anyway, sorry, we're really, really going off track. But the app did go viral. Like it was like, everybody who was over the age of 18, young people in high school, colleges were downloading it. And also people on the news were talking about it. So it was going viral. So since 2013, they have merged with Match.com. And in 2022, Tinder has nearly 11 million paid subscribers and 75 million active users. And as of 2022, this one is actually, statistic, there we go. This statistic is like blowing my mind. Tinder recorded 65 billion matches worldwide, as in from 2012 to 2022, so 10 years. 65 billion. What the fuck is that noise? Oh, it's the heater. Sorry guys, as you can tell, I'm feeling a little bit fragile today, so any sort of like wrong noise is like sending me west, and I'm getting furious for some reason, but it's fine, it's okay. I'm also waiting for an estate agent to get back to me, and they have told me, because I'm trying to reorganize a viewing, and I rang them to reorganize it on Friday. They told me they'd ring me back. They never did. And bear in mind, the viewing's meant to be today. It's either at 12:30 or it's at 4. And I don't know what time it is, whether it got rescheduled or not. I rang them back on Friday. They tell me they'd ring me back. I rang them back on Saturday. They told me they'd ring me back. I rang them back today. They told me they'd ring me back. And my viewing's meant to be in like an hour and a half. And like, if it is at 12:30 and I don't want to stand someone up, and it's making me really, really angry, because it's like, I am trying, like, I want this. Like, like, if you give me this viewing, you're doing your job. Like, this is good for you. You're not doing me a favor. But anyway, so yeah. So like things that they're really getting under my skin, because clearly I'm going through a very like crazy emotional change in my life. And I like have all this pent up energy inside me, that I literally, it's like coming out in like the weirdest ways of like, I know that when I call back Chesterton's like half an hour before my viewing, I am going to need to like calm myself down and just be like, hi, I really, really need to know when my viewing is. I've been told I was going to be called back 3 times and nobody's calling me back. I'm practicing. But what I will say about Tinder, to give credit where credit's due to dating apps altogether, is I do think that, and by the way, I do want to make it clear, this isn't like a negative, like I hate dating apps, because bitch, I've barely used dating apps. So I honestly think different things work for different people. I know some people that despise dating apps, that say that dating apps are the trenches, and that seems to be the very common sort of online sentiment is that dating apps suck. But also I know people that use dating apps who have met their partners on dating apps and even before their partners, they're like, oh, I had like loads of fun on dating apps. And a lot of my friends at the moment are dating, and they say that they really enjoy. Oh, someone's calling me back. Oh my God. Hi, speaking.
Hi.
Oh my God, guys, I've got the viewing. Oh my God, like I feel, okay, I feel relieved. That was stressful. So there was never a viewing today anyway. Do you know what I'm talking about? I'm like, but you know what, like he was so nice. That guy was so nice. And you know what, this is going to be such a blanket statement, but it's so rare that you meet a nice estate agent, because I actually read on Twitter that there is like no incentive for estate agents to have good customer service anymore, because the rental market in like a vast majority of cities, and I can't say like countries because I know other countries, but especially in the UK, a vast majority of like renting in major cities is the trenches. It's the trenches. So like, even if you literally spit in my face and tell me that I am the worst tenant ever and that you hate me if I like the flat, oh babe, I'm putting down that deposit. I'm putting down that deposit. Okay, I feel relieved. Okay, I feel like that's like let go of some of my pent up energy. But I did just want to make it clear that this isn't a negative sort of dating apps podcast episode. This is more an exploration of dating apps, because I know people that really like them. I know people that really hate them. And I think that's something that's very interesting about dating apps, is that it's a very divisive issue. Sorry, I'm going to lock my door. It's a very divisive issue. I think it's an either you absolutely not love them. I don't think anyone loves dating apps. I feel like if someone loves dating apps, that's a bit of a red flag. But no, like you either really like them and they work really well for you, or you absolutely hate them. I don't think I've ever met anyone in my life that is indifferent to dating apps. But I guess the reason why that indifference doesn't exist is because the stakes are so high for some people. Like, I find that the people who hate dating apps are the people who really, really want to get into a relationship. And then the people who like dating apps are the people who just enjoy dating. And whether it ends in a relationship or not is, neither here nor there. Like yeah, sorry. I'm kind of loving this. Wait, I'm loving this move. Sorry, anyone that can watch me, I'm kind of loving this move. But what I will say about dating apps is that I do hold, and I feel like Tinder has like the worst rap, but what I will say about Tinder is Tinder definitely contributed to destigmatizing online dating. Before dating apps, dating websites were sort of seen as a bit seedy. I think online dating was associated with older people. I feel like it was associated with, older people, middle-aged people, divorcees. That's so cunty. Like being like, oh, I'm a divorcee. Oh, I don't want to say it's my dream to be a divorcee, especially as someone like, I was talking to I've been like talking to my mother about my breakup, and I stayed with her for a few days, and I remember I like rang her on the day like bawling my eyes out. Like it was like the most emotional pain I've ever been in my life, like to the point where it felt physical. And my mum said to me, she was like, I was with your dad for 9 years before we broke up, and it was awful, and we had 2 kids, and did they have a house together? No, they didn't. My dad owned the house though, so it was like deep. And I'm thinking, if my mum and my dad can break up and with 2 children after 9 years, then I'm going to be okay. Do you know what I mean? But anyways, I feel like online dating had that association with older people and middle-aged people like looking for a second shot at love, but I feel like dating apps were also seen as like a last resort. And again, this is like not dating apps, online dating. Online dating was seen as like this last resort. It was seen as a little bit seedy. It was seen as a little bit, especially from men, creepy. And like as a woman, it was seen as quite dangerous. Like I think there was still of that like culture of like stranger danger, don't meet up with people that you only know online, which now that the internet has been around for a really long time, and we also have the skills and resources to figure out if someone is who they say they are. Obviously, catfishing is still a real thing. You know, Catfish, the TV show, is still going strong, but there are definitely like tools that you can put in place to know whether someone is who they say they are. But yeah, like I think that dating apps really sort of brought online dating into the mainstream, and it made online dating seem, you know, sort of like new and fresh. Like there is a lot of people make a very strict distinction between online dating and dating apps. Yeah, I remember it was like really like it used to be like my mum would be like talking about her friend's like new partner, and I'd be like, oh, how did they meet? And she goes, they met on a dating website. And it would be like, oh, no way. So there is a plethora of different dating apps. Like, you know, there's ones that are for, you know, different, you know, sexualities, queer communities, sex communities as well. You know, like swinging apps and also kink apps. And there's also apps for people of different religions. Like there really is an app for everything. But in my zeitgeist, I'm talking my personal zeitgeist as someone who I am bisexual, but I've only dated men. And in my defense, guys, I didn't realize I was bisexual until I was in my last relationship. So I haven't had a chance to spread my wings yet. But I'm white and I'm, you know, middle class and I live in London and I'm not religious. Like that's the sort of zeitgeist I'm looking at. The most popular dating apps I see are Tinder, which is more of a younger crowd. Nobody I know uses Tinder. It's mostly like a younger crowd. Tinder, Hinge, Bumble, and Raya. So let me just run through these like different like dating apps. So Tinder is the swipe left, swipe right. I used Tinder when I was 18. I used Tinder, and let me tell you, I was like low-key addicted to Tinder. Like, I don't know why. I think it was just because I'd never received validation. I wasn't addicted to Tinder, but that sounds really bad. I wasn't addicted to Tinder. Like, basically, I just went through a phase of like 2 weeks of just being obsessed with the app. Like, I could spend hours on it at a time, talking to people, swiping left. It's mostly the swiping left, swiping right, and matching people thing, because I spent a, you know, majority of my teen years not receiving any male validation. No guys had a crush on me. I'd had one boyfriend, and you know, and still then like people, you know, thought I was ugly and like whatever, like, so I never received any validation from men. So it was essentially a male validation app, and I was loving it. So I would just wake up first thing in the morning, swipe on Tinder just because I wanted like that endorphin boost of male validation. And I never went on a date with anyone from Tinder, surprisingly, guys. When I'm telling you it was like a 2-week stint, it was a 2-week stint. I like was talking to this guy, and like we were gonna like meet up, but then I met my ex-boyfriend. I met my second boyfriend, and I was like so obsessed with him when I first met him that this is actually insane of me. Like, I truly believed in my own source, and it worked. I deleted all of my dating apps the day that I met my ex-boyfriend, and bear in mind, he was like dating someone else. Like, I was crazy, but I was like, that is manifestation, you guys. Like, that is manifestation. And then we were together for 3 years after that, like nearly 3 years. So there's Tinder, which works on that swipe left, swipe right. It's sort of associated with straight people as being more of a hookup app. But like, I don't think anybody really goes on Tinder looking for a serious relationship. And it's also very young. Like, I feel like I associate Tinder with like being 18 and downloading your first dating app. And then next is Hinge, which I feel like is the one that everybody my age uses. It basically works on, you know, you have your pictures and then you have prompts. So, and there's sort of like memes going around at the moment about how everyone's prompts are the same. So like my ideal Sunday, be hungover, go for a roast and go for a walk. But also I'm not even mad at people for having the same answers, because how else are you supposed to answer my ideal Sunday? Like, because when they say, oh yeah, be a bit hungover, go for a roast and then go for a nice walk, that is my ideal Sunday too. Like, I could never use that prompt because I'd be such a cliche, but that's my ideal Sunday as well. Or like, what's your biggest mistake being on this app? Like, I feel like the prompts, even if you try to make them funny, I feel like because it's so unnatural, I feel like the prompts are going to be inherently cringe. But the prompts are almost used as conversation starters. So like, for example, what's your ideal Sunday? And, you know, if you don't say like, let's say you choose something actually unique. If you're like, oh, going rock climbing, then somebody else who likes rock climbing can reply to the prompt and be like, oh my God, I love rock climbing too. See, that's sort of how it works. But I guess the problem is that a lot of people like doing the same stuff. So like, there's only so many times that you can reply to someone saying their ideal Sunday is being a bit hungover, going for a roast and then going for a walk, as, oh my God, like me too. Because like, yeah, duh, who doesn't like doing that? And then there is Bumble. And Bumble is the dating app where only the women can message first, which, to be fair, I kind of see how that was like a pretty radical concept. But I don't picture myself ever downloading Bumble because I'm so bad at messaging people that, like, why would I want to do that of my own accord? And then there's Raya, and Raya is essentially meant to be a celebrity dating app, but it's not. It's, you pay a fee and you have to have a reference, and basically it's a more private dating app. So there's like, you know, there's like a lot of like celebrities that use it, influencers that use it, regular people that use it who have like a connection to that world. I feel like it's sort of meant to be like a, you know, creative people that work in sort of these different, you know, influencery, TV, film, maybe journalism fields, an app for them. But obviously so many people like have references now, that like the app is full of like just normal people that are willing to pay for a dating app. You know what's my ick? I hate when people post screenshots of celebrities' dating profiles. I see like a lot of people screenshotting celebrity accounts and like taking pictures of celebrities. And by the way, you're not even allowed to screenshot on the right app. Like, it gives you a warning. But people would obviously just use their friend's phone. And that is such a fucking ick. Like, I hate it. I think it's so cringy. I think that it honestly, like, I know that it's a public profile, but also I do think it violates the celebrity's privacy a little bit. And also it's just loser behavior. First of all, why would you fumble the bag of possibly being able to message and go on a date with a celebrity? Second of all of that for 60,000 likes on TikTok. It just like reeks of embarrassment. Like, I think it is genuinely the most embarrassing thing in the entire world. Like, I would actually rather be waterboarded than ever post a TikTok saying, these are the celebrities that I've seen on Raya. Get alive! And I'm pretty sure, oh my God, sorry guys, ignore my underarms. But I'm sure that Raya, when they see these TikToks, surely they search the person's name and block them from the app. And Raya, if you don't do that, you should do that. Ignore, like, my armpits are purple right now because number one, don't have my razor with me, so my hair is growing through, but that's not what I'm apologizing for. Normalized female body hair. But I'm wearing like a Juicy Couture track jacket, and it is like, the ink is like coming off and staining my armpit. But it's fine, like, it's whatever. So according to the Pew Research Center in 2023, only 10% of people in committed relationships or marriages met their partner on a dating site or dating app. So that encapsulates both dating sites and dating apps. But also, I think something that's important to note is that dating sites and dating apps don't include meeting through social media, which is how a lot of people meet. That's how I met my last partner. We met on Instagram because we had like mutual friends and stuff. But according to a 2023 study by The Knot, online dating is the most popular way to meet your partner, with over 1 in 4 couples marrying after meeting online. But as I said, online doesn't necessarily mean dating apps. And I think that's what the knot hasn't taken into consideration. Like, yeah, sure, 1 in 4 couples have met by meeting online, but that could include meeting on Facebook, which is like how so many like specifically millennials met their partners. Like it literally could have been in school and they added each other on Facebook and then they met at a party, but technically they met online. Technically they met on Facebook. I've been trying to like peruse the internet on like what the most popular way to meet your partner is, because if I like think back about my friends, I know a lot of people that have met their partners on dating apps. I do. I'd say it's split 50-50. 50% of the people I know in relationships met on dating apps, and then 50% of the other people met in person, whether it was through mutual friends, whether it was at a festival, and then whether, like, I feel like on Instagram technically counts as like through mutual friends. But according to courtly.com, the most popular way to meet your spouse is using a dating app, through mutual friends, at school or work, or at a bar. I need to know like meeting your partner at work must be such tea. So something that I find really interesting is the monetization strategies of dating apps, because dating apps very often use, apart from Raya, very often use a freemium model. So if you don't know what freemium model is, it's basically free unless you want premium. So freemium, ha 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 ha. I don't know why I did that. So it's free to download, but it costs if you want like a lot of the packs. So they use in-app advertising, e-commerce integrations, partnerships, paid apps, and of course memberships. And that's how dating apps make their money. And I think this is something that people have really clocked on in the last couple of years, is dating apps very much have an incentive for you not to meet the person of your dreams, because they want you to keep using it. They want you to pay for a membership. They want you to keep clicking on the ads and paying them. You know, Hinge advertise themselves as like the dating app that's meant to be deleted. But surely they wouldn't want everyone to delete Hinge, because then they wouldn't have a business model. I am just going to go through Tinder, the Tinder subscription prices. So nearly every app has the potential to become a paid member. So Tinder was one that I found really interesting, because there was like subscriber tiers. Most apps sort of don't really have tiers, or they have like 2. So like Hinge, they have 2 memberships. They have the Hinge Plus, which is unlimited likes, the ability to see who likes you, and more ways to find matches. You can filter matches based on preferences like education, politics, vices, which is $14.99 a month in dollars. And then for $25 a month, it includes everything on Hinge plus the ability to move up the list for potential matches, receive more personalized matches, and be prioritized when you like someone. I'm gonna get into like the other subscription stuff in a second, but I think that dating app subscriptions, like apart from an app where you have to pay to use it, are inherently, like you're inherently shooting yourself in the foot, because I think it's such an ick to pay for a dating app. Like, I think it's an ick to pay for a dating app that's free. I can understand if it's like you have to pay to use it, but I think that paying for a dating app that's free is an ick. So surely, yeah, sure, you've got more ways to make matches, you've got more likes, but if I was dating a man and I was like loving it, I was like feeling it, and then I like go on his phone and he's like deleting Hinge, and I see that he's like cancelling the direct debit towards Hinge, I'd be like, uncancel it. Uncancel it. Like, I'm sorry. Is that controversial? But let me go through. Tinder is like a different beast. So let me go through the Tinder matches. Okay, so Tinder has 3 subscription prices. There's Tinder Plus, which is $7.99 a month, which is actually really cheap. And it's unlimited likes, unlimited rewinds, which is like when you accidentally swipe left on someone. You know what I found out? You know, most men just swipe right on everyone. Did you know that? Passport to any location, hide advertisement, and go incognito. Why would you want to go incognito on a dating app? How does that... I'm Googling that. Okay, so Bumble advertise using their incognito mode for a better Bumble experience. Not only does incognito mode keep your profile hidden from anyone you haven't already swiped right on, but being able to curate your pool of potential matches in this way may also increase your chances on meeting someone you'll really like. Okay. So it seems that incognito mode is like a pause. So you can still talk to everybody that you've matched, but it pauses you being put in like the sort of swipe right, like pool, like the algorithm, I guess. Why would anybody want to do that? If you're desperate enough, if you're desperate enough to get into a relationship to pay for Tinder, why wouldn't you want people to see you? Anyways, so there's Tinder Gold, which is $24.99 a month, $24.99. And you can see who likes you. You got new top picks every day, weekly super likes, one free boost a month, free monthly boost only available with subscriptions of 1 month or longer, and everything you love from Tinder Plus. And then Tinder Platinum is $29.99 a month. You can message before matching, which I actually fundamentally disagree with this feature. Because the whole point of matching is to stop people who you don't like messaging you. And I really, really hate that just for a little bit of cash, Tinder have decided to just give people the ability to message people who so clearly aren't fucking interested in them. I actually hate that. I hate that so much because I feel like it just... I mean, I don't want to make it a thing about men, but I feel like it just makes men feel so fucking entitled. Like, it's just another entitlement that men get. Like, if they're willing to fork out enough money, they can go and harass a girl that isn't interested in them. That might have been a bit too controversial. But prioritize likes. See the likes you've sent over the last 7 days. Why would you want to see the likes you've sent over 7 days? Why do you want to see the people that have rejected you? This doesn't make any sense. I don't know. Maybe it's because like I'm literally fresh out of a relationship. Like it's not even been a week. So, and I feel like the universal like breakup experience is that you feel so deeply averse to dating for like at least a few weeks or a few months and everything you've loved from Tinder Gold. And then, so this is weird. So there's this other subscription option called Tinder Select, which is $500 a month. And already this is giving like, you know, when you're looking on Zoopla or Rightmove and you see like a 2-bedroom flat in like Camden and it's like £8,000 a month and it's priced that high so nobody moves in because it's an investment property. I think whoever ever thought of like investment properties needs to die. Sorry, that was an awful thing for me to say, but guillotine, girl. Like the guillotine. So, according to Tinder's website, a Tinder Select membership includes direct messaging people without matching first for up to 2 times a week. So harassment, cool. A profile with an unburied photo that is prioritized on other users' likes you grid for 1 week. A badge that shows off access to the exclusive tier. No! Wait, so if you spend $500 a month on a Tinder Select subscription, you can have a badge like Apex Legends. You can have a badge of telling everyone I spend $500 a month on this. It's literally just a big sign going, I'm a loser. Like, that's horrifying. Like, I'm mortified. A select mode that lets members see and be seen by the app's most sought after profiles for more exceptional connections, early access to new features, the ability to hide advertisements and see likes you've sent over the past week. So Tinder Select is a $500 per month Tinder subscription. And I feel like it's clearly meant to be a signal of wealth. Like, oh, look, I'm rich enough. I have enough disposable income. We're spending $500 a month on Tinder, like, isn't even that deep. But it just reeks of loser. I'm sorry. Like, and I think my biggest ick with, I think it's an exclusive Tinder thing, is if you have enough money, and by enough money, you literally only need like $25 a month, you can message people that literally do not want to talk to you because they haven't matched with you. Like, I feel like that is really like uncouth, and I feel like it's like not fair. Like, it's cheating. I do think something that's sort of like, and I hate the word that's about to leave my mouth. I just want to make it clear that I cannot think of a better word for this, but I feel like the onlineification of dating is a really interesting phenomenon, because I think that because so much of modern day dating takes place on the internet, people are now sharing their thoughts, their opinions, their experiences of dating on the internet. Which, by the way, I don't have anything against. Like, hello, I'm literally sat on my podcast and I told you guys I'm going through a breakup. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not against sharing dating experiences per se, but I think there's like an influx of, TikTokers and, regular people who just are making TikToks about dating in their late 20s, their early 30s. There's, that girl that goes on like, she's going on like 50 first dates and all of this. And like, they have like sort of like nicknames for the people that they're going on their dates with to like keep them anonymous and stuff. And I'm not saying this to be mean, because I don't want to be mean, because I don't like think that this is a reflection on them being bad people or anything like that, anything of the sort. I think that these like people seem actually very, very nice, all the people that make these kinds of videos. But I think that if you're someone who is struggling dating, so then decides to log online their struggles of dating, then it's just going to make you struggle in dating more, because I do think that people posting fairly in depth, even if it is kept anonymous, fairly in depth about their dating life, I think that is very off-putting to a lot of people. I mean, it would be off-putting to me. Like, if I was on a date with a guy and then I found his TikTok and he talks about every single date that he goes on, I would never go on a date with him again, ever. Because I don't know what he's going to do if we end badly. I don't know what he's going to do when we're in a relationship. And he has this entire online footprint of him dating, and and like every single date that he's gone on, there is now an online footprint, a digital footprint of that. So I wouldn't want to date someone like that. So I can't really blame people for not calling people back when they find out that they log all of their dating life on TikTok, even if it is done privately, even if it is done with anonymity. And the thing is, I understand why people do it, because a part of me, my immediate thought in my head, like the automatic thought is, why don't you just talk to your friends about this? Why don't you just talk to your friends about this? But I think the thing is with, especially when you're dating in your late 20s, early 30s, and you're unsuccessful, especially when you're surrounded by people who are getting married, who are having babies, who just seem to be so happy, who have been in these really long-term relationships, it can feel incredibly lonely. So seeking community online with like other women who are going through the same thing as you, like I totally understand why people do it. I mean, come on guys, I post like the most personal shit on the internet. Like I literally talk about my vaginismus. I talk about my medically typed puss on the internet. So I can't really blame people for wanting to talk about their unsuccessful dating lives. But I think that like talking about your unsuccessful dating life is only going to lead to it being more unsuccessful, which I think is a shame. But also I understand where people are coming from. Like I really, really do understand, because I wouldn't want to go on a date with someone that logged their entire dating history and dating life on TikTok. Another thing that I've been thinking about, like whilst I'm planning this episode, is I think we have a really idealistic image of like dating of the past. Like, when like people used to post like pictures of like, couples in like the 50s and be like, oh my God, look how good love used to be. And it's like domestic violence rates were actually super, super high, and women were never economically independent from their husbands. So it was really, really impossible for them to leave them, even if they were being beat and like cheated on and treated terribly. So maybe we shouldn't do that. But I think even with our parents, we sort of have like quite an idealistic image of dating, because I think that like there's more barriers to being someone's girlfriend now. I think being someone's girlfriend, boyfriend, partner, I think that it's handled with a lot more weight, and I actually think that's a good thing. Because, back in the 90s and the 80s and maybe even the early 2000s, people would be like, oh, like go on dates with someone, and they'd be like, oh, they're my boyfriend. Like, oh yeah, no, we're boyfriend and girlfriend. But I think that there was probably a lot more infidelity that went down, because the barrier for entry of being someone's boyfriend was just, oh, we need to be going on a few dates with each other, and then we're boyfriend and girlfriend. I feel like asking someone to be boyfriend and girlfriend, asking for them to be exclusive, is a fairly new development. Like, I remember when I went exclusive with a partner in the past, and I told my family about it, and they did not understand what exclusivity was. Like, I was like, oh, we're exclusive, and then they're like, oh, so you're boyfriend and girlfriend. I was like, no, we're not boyfriend and girlfriend, we're just exclusive. But I think that's a good thing, because, sorry, I don't want any old Tom, Dick and Harry being my boyfriend. Like, I want someone that I actually like, and like I know is a good egg. And I think, like, obviously that's sort of led to the rise of situationships, and we think like, oh, like situationships, our parents are so lucky that they never had to deal with situationships. But your parents did have to deal with situationships. It was just, they would just call their boyfriend, and their boyfriend used to cheat on them all the time. Do you know what I mean? I think the situationships, I mean, I should actually make an entire podcast episode about situationships, but I think situationships are complicated, because as someone who, I'm very situationship averse, no, like as soon as I get an inkling that it's a situationship, I'm out of there, because it just doesn't serve me. But like, I think I can see like the two sides of a situationship, because on one hand, I do understand, like, let's say the typical situationship dynamic is between, a man and a woman. And like, the man is the one that's like saying, I don't want to be exclusive. I'm not looking for a serious relationship right now. Like, I can understand, because the man is being honest. He's being honest, and that's like an objectively good thing. And I think that being honest is better than being like, yeah, sure, we're boyfriend and girlfriend, and just cheating on them all the time. But I don't think you can have your cake and eat it too. And I think that is like the definition of a situationship. A situationship is having your cake and eating it, and I think that you can't say, oh, I'm not looking for anything serious, and then treat someone like they are your partner. Be intimate with someone, and I'm not talking about intimacy in a sexual sense. I'm talking about intimacy in treating that person like they're your girlfriend, taking them out on dates, telling them that you love them, holding hands in the street, introducing them to your friends. And then when they get pissed off because they see that you're messaging another girl on your phone, then be like, oh, but we're not even a couple, we're not even exclusive. Like, what are you talking about? You don't have a leg to stand on. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Girlies, we're doing better than situationships in the 2020s. In 2024, we are not going to be in any situationships, okay? So I think it's like a two-sided coin. Like, I can understand, yeah, sure, technically you're not boyfriend and girlfriend, but I feel like the ethics of situationships literally just get off on a technicality. And it's like, no, actually, you can't act shocked that the girl that you've been seeing for a year and telling them that you're in love with them and introducing them to your friends and having sex with them regularly, and also being extremely intimate and buying them gifts, and then act shocked that she's pissed off that you sleep with someone else. I'm not a happy girl. So, do dating apps work? I don't really know. I think there is this element of luck of the draw. Like, I think it's like the probability, like, look, there's people who are looking for a relationship. Yeah, the app might not function well, but the likelihood of two people meeting each other and falling in love is probably pretty high. Like, there is definitely like a luck of the draw. And, I think we need to consider that without dating apps, a lot of people that I know would have never have met their partners. So it really does provide people with opportunities to, meet people and make friends as well. And, I think there's a massive importance of dating apps within queer communities as well, because if you live in an area where there aren't gay bars, there aren't, lesbian bars, there isn't really spaces to meet queer people, you can't tell if someone's queer. A vast majority of the time, you cannot tell if someone is queer, especially if you live in a more conservative area. So dating apps are very good for meeting other queer people and also making friends too. Also, someone messaged me and told me that dating apps are really good for if you have like neurodivergencies and if you have autism and like you struggle to read people's tone in person. Everything's like quite literal on a dating app. So the drawbacks of dating apps. So I would just like to say that this isn't coming from me, but damn, you girls had a lot to say about how much you hate dating apps and how you've met some of the worst people of your life on dating apps. But for me, mostly, I think it's just such an unnatural environment. Like it all just feels so forced. I'm currently reading because I'm going through a breakup. I went to Foyles the other day with Jack and I was like, I need a book about a breakup. So I bought Notes on Heartbreak by Annie Lord. I saw Keelan Moncrief recommend this, and she is like talking about being on Hinge, and it's basically just having flirty banter with strangers. That's incredibly unnatural with someone you've never met in your life. And just piggybacking off the fact that having flirty banter with a stranger on the internet is an extremely unnatural environment for anyone, and it's incredibly cringe-inducing. But also, a majority of people, the people in their life, they meet them in group environments. Think about all of the friends that you've met in your life. Think about the friendship groups. A vast majority of the time you've met in a group. You've met at school, you've met at the pub, you've met through other friends. It's very rare that you get to know someone and meet someone for the first time specifically alone and like on an individual basis. How friendships are often built is you're at a party, you get talking to someone, and then you see them at the next party and the party after that, and you realize you actually really, really get on. So you follow each other on Instagram, you then DM, and then you start going to dinner, and you sort of have that sort of the sort of beginnings of a friendship, and then you get to know each other, you get more comfortable with each other. That's how meeting people should be. I feel like it's quite unnatural to meet someone for the first time, and not only that, but have to have forced flirty banter over message. Oh, I also think it could possibly stop people from approaching people in person if you're so used to doing things on a dating app. You know, people used to approach people in person back in the day because they literally had no other choice. Now it's like not like, it's like, oh, I can just go on an app, and like I think people are very, very scared of rejection. Also, you're judging people by pictures, and I feel like it's a universal experience as a woman who dates men, that when you're dating someone and you say, oh, like this is a really, really bad picture of them, by the way. Universal experience, because you know, men take usually worse pictures than women. And also pictures, they can't capture someone's aura. You know, there's some people who I've met them and I'm like, oh, like they're like, I feel no which way about their looks. And then the more that I get to know them, I'm like, oh, okay, like they're cute. And it really is someone's aura really carries over. Sorry, I have wisdom tooth pain. I also think there's choice fatigue. I also think it's extremely unnatural to be having not only flirty banter with strangers, but flirty banter with 20 strangers. Going from complete strangers to dating. Again, it's like I said earlier, a vast majority of people meet in group situations and then they sort of spare off into individual. But also I read a really good article about how dating apps are killing the crush. Because you just start dating. So, I mean, sure, there can be pining, there can be longing, but nothing is better than like when you like are in a group of friends and you end up like developing a crush on someone, and then you're seeing them in these social situations and you're thinking about them and like you're pining for them and you're longing for them. How am I supposed to pine and long in these conditions? How am I supposed to pine for someone whose favorite Sunday activity is being hungover, going for a roast, and then going on a walk, just like every other bitch? Like, how am I supposed to pine for someone like that? Like, also it gamifies dating. It turns it into this like very 2D, instant gratification kind of thing. And also, again, these are for-profit companies. They want you to stay on the apps as long as possible. They have no incentive for you to be happy. I do think that dating apps actually, the closest thing they can be compared to is setting someone up on a blind date, which is weird because they seem like they're the opposite when really they're the same. You know, you do not know this person at all in real life. The first time you're meeting them is on an individual basis, and you're basically going straight into dating. That is what using a dating app is. That is what being on a setup on a blind date is. I do feel like blind dates are a lost art. Like setting someone up with your friend is a lost art. And recently there's been a Hinge lawsuit, which I have to read out to you guys. Okay, so I'm just going to read this on NPR. But while Hinge's advertising slogan boasts that it's designed to be deleted, the lawsuit claims that Match Group's dating apps are really designed to turn users into addicts who do not find true love and instead keep purchasing subscription and other paid perks to keep the publicly traded company revenue flowing. So that's basically like the very, very TLDR of the dating apps. But you know what my opinion on it is that I think that dating apps, they aren't a public service. Like, I would understand if dating apps were set up by the government and they were like a public service for people to find love and be happy and like reduce depression maybe and like encourage people to have babies and start families. That's like it feels very dystopian, that, doesn't it? But dating apps are not a public service, so of course they're supposed to be addictive. Like, duh. Of course they don't want you to find happiness. Duh. But I don't know, maybe I'm being a bit too harsh, but I do think I'm going to wrap it up here because this has actually been really, really fun. But I have really bad wisdom tooth pain. My wisdom tooth pain comes in like every 6 months to a year. I just get like quite bad wisdom tooth pain, but I actually went to the dentist a few months ago for the first time in 10 years. And they told me that my wisdom tooth are not growing in the wrong way. Like, they're growing in the right way. It's all good. I just need to wait for them to push through. So it's all good. And the sun's finally coming out, which is like, guys, look how much my studio just like lights up when the sun comes out. Like, it's so exciting. But yeah, I've had a lot of fun recording this episode. And it's made me feel a lot better, actually, to talk about something that isn't like everything going on in my life right now. Because obviously everyone I talk to just wants to know, like, want to be filled in on everything. And I get it. But it's just exhausting. So I'm obviously girls. I'm going to have so much spare time now. So I feel like this is like a new beginning for me. And I feel like it's a real new beginning for the podcast too. So this is going to be like really exciting for you guys who listen to me because you're going to have so many episodes. So I might set up like a little Google Doc of like topic suggestions of things you want me to talk about, because I actually kind of loved, because this research was so quick, it took me like a couple of hours to just like talk, like, you know, anything you want me to talk about, and I'll just do a little light research and share my opinions. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to check out the sponsor Cheeks, who very kindly sponsored the episode today. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.